La Pampa del Fior. I will quote the silent words of the Holy Virgin. Can you again? From the small town of La Pampa del Fior to Gnuji I went on mule. We left 5 mules before dawn, armed with basket backpacks and hats, wrapped in colorful blankets, and each one had several liters of hot water on his chest in large plastic orangeade bottles. My mule had a runny nose that was flowing unbearably from his nostrils despite the frosty dawn. Before we warm up, we walk through the frozen mud and go out to the gravel pit, as the locals call the dry stream, which for unknown reasons has not grown overgrown with vegetation. The mules were walking in the dark, apparently knowing this path by heart. The 2 on the mules in front drank alcohol from a small canister, giving it to themselves at regular intervals, in a good mood. El Micho closed our little caravan, silent and lonely as usual. I tried not to move unnecessarily on the mule, so as not to cause him additional troubles during the journey, and tried to assume a position slightly tilted back, but still hunched, which I observed in other riders. At a standstill, when after a long ride we scooped our own butts, I fell from the mule to the ground and drank boiling coffee from the teapot with others. The sun was hell, and despite the snow it was felt the power of colors and freshness of the air. Mountains have long ceased to be foreign to me. They were a friend to me when I was a child, when I walked the path from Morsky Oko to Charny Sta by trot, jumping uphill between tourists panting from under the knots of handkerchiefs tied on my head and wiping sweaty glasses. I ran at night in rubber boots through forests and slopes, where even during the day a good orientation in terrain was needed, and crawfish on my feet. The mountains were mine. That's why I was always afraid of them. Now I was traveling with those men who knew something else about the mountains. They wanted to give it to me. Right here on the route from La Pampa del Fior to Gnuji. It is not easy to talk about it, and it is even harder to believe in the world of succubus in the 21st century, in the age of cyberspace and nano-worlds discovered by the illusory breath of conceit as to the essence of the power of reason and the glory of computer effects multiplied by the great money for the needs of film and entertainment. The coffee was disgusting and the disposable cup was reusable and dirty. But it worked wonders with my stomach, and suddenly I could go on. However, El Micho came up to me and put a hand on my shoulder. "We'll arrive on time," he said slowly. He pointed at the bird at the top, which was circling, having, as I guessed, his territory. "It's my sign. We all have signs, but this one is for everyone and most for me. They told me long ago that I could bring someone back, and even come back when I want." He took out an old folded and brown photo. There were 3 mustached villagers with hats in their hands, rigidly stuck to the camera. They were old, and the photo itself had to be old. "It's me," said El Micho, pointing his finger at the middle old man. "I was old then." Added. After a moment of silence he explained. "I used to think it was hell and the end of life. But this is not the case, and you become who you really are." I thought nothing, and I said aloud, "If it's a joke for tourists, then we can have fun." "Well." He nodded and hid the picture. He shouted something towards the fire and they laughed at us. The first day passed and it got cold again. Lizards were changing their paws more and more slowly, and the sun was suddenly hidden behind the tip of some mountain, leaving the light of day around and nothing more. To be continued. Truer222, at www.kubi.pl. You can read it in 91 languages. And earn from improving translations.